Hi, I'm Jeff Cogswell. Today I'm going to take what we normally cover here at Go Parallel, the concepts of parallel coding in C++ and Fortran, and branch it out into another area, web development. Before we get started though, I want to point out a publication from Intel that you may or may not have seen, but I recommend that you go over and start reading it regularly. They have a lot of really good information. It's called Intel Software Adrenaline, and it's at software.intel.com/sites/billboard. And they've got a lot of really good current information going on at Intel relating to a whole broad range of topics: BYOD, bring your own device, big data, cross-platform, embedded, security, and more. They don't have a topic devoted exclusively to parallel, but they do cover parallel quite a bit. And today I'm going to talk about an article in here that covers a topic that's going on at Intel right now that brings parallel programming and web development together. And it's an article right in here called SIMD plus JavaScript equal faster HTML5 apps. And I've got the article right here. Now what they're basically doing is talking about taking the JavaScript runtimes, several different JavaScript runtime engines, and adding SIMD capabilities. Of course, SIMD deals with vectorization, which we've covered a great deal here. Now, if you've worked with JavaScript before, you're probably well aware that you're kind of stuck in a little world that's separate from what goes on with the rest of the computer. Now, of course, that's by design, because the browser, with the browser, they intentionally gave you a sandbox to work in where you don't have access to the actual computer. Of course, that's a security reason. That way you can't write applications that you put on a website that drill down into somebody's computer and extract information out, etc., etc. However, we are doing a lot of new stuff with JavaScript whereby we're actually creating applications now in the browser. And the browser in the past typically dealt with just displaying pages. But today you've got a lot of pretty powerful web applications running out there. And to make that happen, it has required that the JavaScript engines get better, which they have over the past few years. For those of us that were writing a good amount of JavaScript code back in, say, 2006, 2005, we're well aware that back then it was pretty difficult to do anything worthwhile. But since then, the browsers have updated their JavaScript engines, and for example, the Google Chrome has the V8 engine, and then there's SpiderMonkey, which is in Firefox, and there's others. And these are heavily optimized engines that take your JavaScript code and do just-in-time compilation. And the end result is now you can write JavaScript code that's far faster and far better performance than what you used to have. However, you're still locked into this notion of JavaScript. Here we've been talking about vectorization and multi-core development, and when you write an application that runs in the browser, you don't have that available. Well, there's a team over at Intel that's actually changing that. They're taking JavaScript and right now adding vectorization to it. That's what the SIMD here, of course, is. So we get SIMD plus JavaScript means a faster HTML5 apps. And the way that the approach they're taking, I encourage you to go ahead and read the whole article, but the approach they're taking is they're working in the code generation area at the just-in-time compilation, and they're providing a library whereby you can write vectorized code by writing JavaScript. Now, they don't really give the details in the article about what the code looks like, but they aren't changing the language itself. They are adding a library though, and inside that library is where the interface will be down into the underlying SIMD code inside the V8 or other JavaScript engine. Say you want to do vectorization on a loop, and you will call into this library using the same JavaScript syntax you've always used, and the code you get will make use of the vectorization in the processor. And they've got some examples here, and they were seeing it looks like they did some fractal generation, which, as I've mentioned before, tends to be a popular benchmark test. And they were seeing they were seeing in this case 4 times improvement, and other times they said they've seen even 8 times improvement and on up. So that's good news. The bad news is it's not ready yet. You can follow this article, and they talk about where you can right now see some of the code in the Firefox open source code, and where you can go forward with that. I suspect it won't be long before we actually see this in the browsers. They say that they are working with Chrome and Firefox and with the WebKit folks, and this is likely going to become part of those browsers. They're also working with the ECMA people to build it into the standard, which is also good news. So hopefully it won't be long before we are able to write full vectorized, and they even mentioned later, multi-core programming in JavaScript, and that means we can create web applications that have the kind of performance of desktop apps. And I'm going to be following this story closely, and as always, I will keep you informed with updates.